8 months away from the game, battling injuries, fighting illness, and still dealing with inconsistent rotation decisions where she was benched in 4 out of 5 games, yet Caitlin Clark still emerged as the youngest MVP in FIBA qualifying tournament history. That alone tells you this is not just another comeback story. This is about what happens when a player of her caliber simply cannot be kept off the floor, no matter how the rotations are managed. In this breakdown, we go through exactly how she did it, what happened in the Spain matchup, the numbers she put up across the tournament, and why heading into 2026, both the Indiana Fever and Team USA might be facing something the rest of the basketball world is not ready for, or the final showdown against Spain didn't start one-sided at all. Spain came in prepared, disciplined, and for stretches of the game, their plan actually worked. Their young core pushed the tempo, attacked inside the paint, and forced Team USA into uncomfortable possessions early on, keeping the game much tighter than expected. Awa Pham, projected as a future top WNBA draft pick, showed she belonged on the floor with elite competition, scoring confidently and holding her own physically. Alongside her, 20-year-old Iana Martin controlled tempo and created plays that genuinely unsettled Team USA's starting unit. The momentum kept swinging back and forth throughout the first quarter. By the start of the second, the scoreboard was still level, tied against a Team USA team that had been dominant all tournament. And at that moment, Caitlin Clark was still watching from the bench. What made this tournament even more controversial was the constant rotation changes.
It's high everywhere in the world.
And Caitlin Clark immediately making an impact for Team USA. Her first foul of the game, it'll be Italy ball on the sideline.
Every game seemed to feature a different starting lineup, and 4 out of 5 times, Clark wasn't in the opening 5. Fans quickly noticed it online. While Spain continued to hang around, Team USA's offense looked stagnant, slow, and disconnected. The ball movement lacked rhythm, possessions became predictable, and the best playmaker in the roster wasn't on the floor.
Clark off the re-screen. Sidestep, deep three! And there's Caitlin Clark for her first triple of the game, and it's the class.
That raised one question everywhere: why is your primary floor general not leading the offense from the start? Spain used mixed defenses, soft box and one looks and zone coverages, and Team USA struggled to respond. Then Clark checked in. The moment she stepped onto the court, the entire rhythm of the game changed instantly. Where Team USA had been slowed down and pressured into mistakes, Clark turned that same pressure into transition opportunities.
Showing by Santucci, especially against KP.
Italy showing a zone now. 9 seconds to shoot. Inside to Billings. Billings, the reverse off the glass is good.
People around the team made it clear Clark's presence completely unlocked the offense. That wasn't just opinion, it showed up in every scoring run Team USA made. Whenever momentum shifted, she was on the floor driving it. The final scoreline read 84-70, but that doesn't reflect how competitive the game was before her impact. Spain played well, and Pham and Martin were legitimate problems. The fact that Clark came in and stabilized everything only highlights how important her presence was.
Caitlin Clark doing her best Chelsea Gray impression. What a finish! Showing the handles.
Across the entire tournament, Clark logged more minutes than any other player on Team USA. Not just in one game, but across all 5. That means the same player who was frequently coming off the bench was also the one they couldn't afford to sit once she entered the game. Now consider this: a player coming off the bench in most games, yet still finishing as the team leader in minutes played. That alone is rare. But it doesn't stop there. She also led the team in assists, plus-minus, and efficiency. That combination isn't something you see from a role player, it's a clear sign of a central engine driving everything. When you break down the numbers, the picture becomes even clearer. Clark averaged 11.
The crew come in, and I really like the lineup that played. Caitlin was the first sub off the bench. She hasn't started yet, but immediately came in off the bench and scored. as soon as she checked in, she got a bucket, like within seconds. She was the 6th woman in this one. She's one of the players who hasn't started yet, but who cares? But comes in, you see Jackie handling, and Caitlin gets the ball, calls for it, passes it off.
1.6 points per game across 5 games, along with 6.4 assists per game, totaling 32 assists for the tournament. She led Team USA in 2-point shooting percentage, free throws made, and free throws attempted. And she did all of this while playing the most minutes on the team. The contradiction is obvious. The player most responsible for production was also the one not consistently starting games. The plus-minus numbers make the impact even more undeniable. Clark didn't just lead Team USA in that category, she led the entire tournament.
It off to Santucci, who just subbed in, as well as Angel Reese for Team USA, getting action on the floor now. Zandalicini pops up, no good, big.
Every player, every team, every nation competing in Puerto Rico. Whenever she was on the floor, Team USA outscored opponents by a margin no one else came close to. The efficiency metrics confirmed the same story. She wasn't just effective within her team, she was the most efficient player in the entire field. The assist numbers deserve even more attention. Averaging 6.4 assists per game in a FIBA-level competition is no small task. International defenses are structured, disciplined, and designed specifically to take away passing lanes. Yet
Brings it up against Brea Fico. Clark off the Reese screen. Sidestep, deep 3! And there's Caitlin.
Clark consistently broke those systems down, even without starting games or having early possession control. And the free throw stats tell another part of the story. Getting to the line consistently means she wasn't settling, she was attacking, forcing contact, and making defenses react under pressure. That's not passive basketball. That's a player actively controlling possessions and dictating defensive decisions every time she touched the ball.
To set something up off the Hamby screen, dishes it into Hamby. Hamby makes that one look easy. What a give and go between.
When you put everything together, the contradiction becomes impossible to ignore. The coaching decisions suggested one approach, but the performance data told a completely different story. The player leading nearly every major statistical category was still the one coming off the bench in most games. Despite that, she finished the tournament as the youngest MVP in FIBA qualifying history. And this wasn't a popularity award, it was based entirely on 5 games of production. Scoring, playmaking, efficiency, and impact metrics that no one else matched. This also marked her second FIBA MVP award, adding to the one she earned in 2021 with the USA U19 team. That consistency across different levels and stages of her career reinforces one thing: whenever she's given responsibility, she delivers at the highest level, regardless of circumstances. Her selection to the All-Star 5 only confirmed what the numbers already showed. This wasn't a
Page. Just thought you were a little faster.
Yeah, and I think Santucci called the glass too, so we give a double value to that shot.
About hype or reputation. It was a technical evaluation from experts who study international basketball closely. Across every metric in every game, Clark stood out as the most impactful player on the floor. What makes this even more important is what comes next. The skills she sharpened running Team USA's offense under Nate Tibbetts, her pace control, pick-and-roll reads, and transition decision-making are exactly what she brings back to the Indiana Fever. The system she operated in during this tournament feels like a preview of what a fully unlocked Fever offense could look like in the WNBA: fast, guard-driven, and built entirely around her initiating everything. And beyond that, this tournament also connects directly to the 2026 World Cup and upcoming international competition in Berlin. Clark just proved she can return from an 8-month layoff and immediately lead an elite international team in efficiency and impact. Most players need time to adjust after injuries. She immediately set the standard. Another major storyline was the chemistry developing between Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers. Across 5 games, their connection grew rapidly into something dangerous for future opponents. Their timing, spacing, and shared decision-making created a backcourt partnership that could define future Team USA lineups. At the same time, coaching adjustments and lineup experimentation showed clear differences in offensive rhythm depending on structure. Earlier in the tournament, conservative rotations and off-ball usage limited flow. But when the offense shifted toward faster, guard-led setups, everything changed.
Nate Tibbetts is a better coach than Kara Lawson. Kara Lawson wasn't present, which I thought was odd.
Against Italy, the difference was obvious. Clark ran repeated pick-and-roll actions, consistently reading defensive coverages before they fully developed. She manipulated defenders, created mismatches, and generated open looks both for herself and her teammates. The speed of her decision-making completely broke down Italy's defensive scheme against Italy. The difference was obvious. Clark ran repeated pick-and-roll actions, consistently reading defensive coverages before they fully developed.
I thought Puerto Rico played very, very hard, and they played hard the entire time. They challenged us with their effort, and I thought they made a lot of hustle plays to create baskets for themselves. And this was more of an uneven game for us on both ends. We talked about it as a team, and I thought we had some good spots, but I also thought we had some rough spots, and that's good. It's good to have rough spots sometimes. You're able to kind of figure some things out, and we're still figuring things.
She manipulated defenders, created mismatches, and generated open looks both for herself and her teammates. The speed of her decision-making completely broke down Italy's defensive scheme. Even stylistic preferences around pace played a role in how the team functioned. Clark's strengths are naturally tied to tempo, decision-making speed, and transition flow, all of which became clearer as the tournament progressed. Even stylistic preferences around pace played a role in how the team functioned.
I thought the game was a little clunky. I felt like we probably didn't play our best. I thought Paige played really well, but it felt good. I mean, I obviously probably didn't shoot it as well as I would have liked. I think their zone kind of threw us off. I thought it kind of slowed down our pace a little bit. We didn't get as much in transition, so I think if like another team plays zone, just continue to play with a lot of pace and don't let them set these out.
Strengths are naturally tied to tempo, decision-making speed, and transition flow, all of which became clearer as the tournament progressed. Their two-man game created constant problems for defenses. Both players can score and create, which forces defenders into impossible decisions on every possession.
That group impact the flow of the game?
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job. This is a group that hasn't been together very long. We've kind of mixed the matchups, mixed the rotations. We played our players a little bit longer stretches than what we had done in the first two games. And so I thought initially they got off to a good start. I probably played them a little bit too long of a stretch at some of them got a little bit tired, but yeah, I love the creativity. I love the shooting with that group.
One is pressured, the other exploits the rotation instantly. Analysts described it as nearly unguardable, and the film supports that assessment. Meanwhile, adjustments to pace and system structure also affected how other players fit into the rotation. Some struggle.
Another thing I noticed is that Caitlin Clark was used a lot in this game, and I'm glad she was. She did pretty well. I'm surprised she wasn't player of the game. I thought she should have been player of the game, but they gave it to Chelsea Gray. Whatever. I don't know who makes these decisions. They're not good.
Initially with the faster tempo, but eventually roles became more defined, especially in transition-heavy setups. By the end of the tournament, everything came together. Clark's production, leadership, and efficiency weren't just impressive, they reshaped how the entire team functioned. And when you combine that with emerging chemistry and system evolution, the conclusion becomes clear: this wasn't just a successful tournament run. It was a preview of what both Team USA and the Indiana Fever could look like when everything is fully aligned around her strengths.
Angel Reese is playing the point guard. She's not looking Caitlin Clark's way one time, deliberately not passing her the ball.
I'm going to ask that, do you feel like some of the mistakes that you guys made was something that Puerto Rico was doing, or were some of them also a little self-inflicted?
I think it was mostly self-inflicted. I thought we missed some FIBA coverages, and then I think especially with how much we fouled too, like it really limits us, especially in transition with a lot of like fast. And, it's hard to push, especially off of the fade free throws.
It was obviously a big win by a large margin for Team USA, but what can you say about what you saw about Team Puerto Rico tonight?
Yeah, I thought they played with a lot of fire. I thought they were aggressive. I thought the crowd was incredible. Their fans were great, so certainly fun environment. Yeah, I think taking care of the ball was probably going to be our main focus. I think we could have moved the ball a bit better. I don't know how many assists we had, but I thought we could have probably passed the ball a little bit better. I think about these games, the paint was really, really clogged, and we want to get easy finishes at the rim, but I think also getting the paint would be ready to kick it out.
And would you say that it was due to Puerto Rico's defense or just offense not
Puerto
falling?
Rico did a great job, but also I think we could be better off.
Talked about doing different lineups, different rotations to test out that chemistry. Just how did you feel tonight, yesterday, with all those different
Yeah, I think
rotations?
it's going to be a work in progress with everybody trying to kind of find the flow a little bit, especially when we're going 5 in, 5 out. But, you got to be flexible. That's kind of what USA basketball's all about. Some games you're going to play a lot, some games you're not going to play as much. You might come off the bench, you might start. So you got to be ready when your number's called. I think everybody's done a good job of that. And, we don't even know the starting lineup till we're in the locker room before the game. So you just get ready and go out and play.